Okay, folks, this is a follow-up of the OnlyFans. We see more and more of this stuff popping up as we get closer to this singularity as far as jobs and evictions and stuff like that. But this is what I was saying. We always talk about the top half of the OnlyFans, the ones that are making a lot of money, the success stories, but we never talk about the people that are average, the average, not even working girl, the average woman just looking to supplement her income or pay some bills. But this is one from New York Times. Jobless, selling nudes online and still struggling. OnlyFans is a social media platform that allows people to sell explicit photos of themselves has boomed during the pandemic, but competition on the site means many won't earn much, something I've been saying. Savannah Benavides created an OnlyFans account after losing her job as a medical biller. Savannah Benavides stopped working at her job as a medical biller in June to take care of her 2-year-old son after his daycare shut down. Shout out to COVID-19. Needing a way to pay her bills, she created an account on OnlyFans, a social media platform where users sell original content to monthly subscribers, and started posting pictures of herself nude or in lingerie. Ms. Benavides, 23, has made $64,000 since July. Shout out to her. Enough not just to take care of her own bills, but to help family and friends with rent and car payments. It's more money than I ever have made in any job, and I have more money than I know what to do with. Lexi Eisenberger was hoping for a similar windfall when she started an OnlyFans account in November. A restaurant worker in Billings, Montana, Ms. Eisenberger, 22, had been laid off 3 times during the pandemic and was so in need of cash by October she had to drop out of dental hygiene school. After donating plasma doing odd jobs, she still didn't have enough money to pay her bills, so at the suggestion of some friends, she turned to OnlyFans. She has made only $500 so far. OnlyFans, founded in 2016, based in Britain, has boomed in popularity during the pandemic. As of December, it had more than 90 million users. Wow. And more than 1 million content creators, up from 120,000 in 2019. Wow. Okay. The pandemic brought the beast out of everybody. The company declined to comment for this article. With millions of Americans unemployed, some like Ms. Benavides and Ms. Eisenberger are turning to OnlyFans in an attempt to provide for themselves and their families. The pandemic has taken a particularly devastating toll on women and mothers, wiping out parts of the economy where women dominate: retail, business, restaurants, and healthcare. We were talking about the sheepocalypse. A lot of people are migrating to OnlyFans out of desperation, said Angela Jones, as an associate professor of sociology at the State University of New York in Farmingdale. These are people who are worried about eating. They're worried about keeping the lights on. They're worried about not being evicted. But for every person like Ms. Benavides who is able to use OnlyFans as her primary source of income, there are dozens more like Mrs. Eisenberger who hope for a windfall and end up with little more than a few $100s and worries that the photos will hinder their ability to get a job in the future. It's already an incredibly saturated market. We're all saying it about a saturated market. Mrs. Jones said of explicit content online, the idea that people are just going to open up an OnlyFans account and start raking in the dough is really misguided. The most successful content creators are often models, porn stars, and celebrities who already have large social media followings. And we're saying that they can use their other online platforms to drive followers to their OnlyFans account, where they offer exclusive content to those willing to pay a monthly fee, even personalized content in exchange for tips. OnlyFans takes a 20% cut of any pay. Some creators receive tips through mobile payment apps, which aren't subject to that cut. Ms. Benavides earns most of her money that way. Cash App. Shout out to Cash App. But many of the creators who have joined the platform out of dire financial need do not have large social media followings or any way to drum up consistent business. Ms. Morocco said maintaining the account could feel like a full-time job. Elizabeth Craig, El Morocco of West Palm Beach, was laid off from her job as an office manager in July. Her unemployment checks don't cover her $1,600 monthly rent, utility bills, and food costs, so she joined OnlyFans in November. But Ms. Morocco, 36, had no social media presence to speak of when she joined the platform, has had to gain subscribers one by posting pictures of herself on Instagram and Twitter, and following up with people who like and comment on her posts, encouraging each one to subscribe to OnlyFans. It's more challenging and time-consuming than she expected and less financially rewarding. It's a full-time job on top of your full-time job looking for work. She said, fans want to see you posting daily. You're always churning. You're always taking pictures to post. She has made just $250 on the platform so far, despite sometimes spending upwards of 8 hours a day creating, posting, and promoting her content. Ms. Morocco also worries that her presence on the platform will make it more difficult for her to be hired for traditional jobs in the future. If you're looking for a 9-to-5, they might not hire you if they find out that you have an OnlyFans, she said. They might not want you if they know you're a sex worker. Interesting. The era of the diesel is upon us. Digital sex work can give the illusion of safety and privacy. Content creators can get paid without having to interact with clients in person, but that doesn't mean there aren't risks. Online sex work is a much more appealing alternative to many people than going on the streets or selling direct sexual services, said Barb Brentz, a professor of sociology at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. She would know. That said, anybody getting into this kind of work needs to be aware that there are dangers. Last April, a mechanic in Indiana lost her job at a Honda dealership after management learned she had an OnlyFans account. Creators can be the target of doxing, a form of online harassment which users publish private or sensitive information about someone without permission. In December, the New York Post published an article about a New York City medic who was using OnlyFans to supplement her income. The medic believed that the article was published without her consent would damage her reputation and get her fired from a job. Creators can also be subject to capping, a practice in which users take an unauthorized screenshot or recording and then share them elsewhere on the internet. OnlyFans creators have also received death and rape threats on social media. OnlyFans content creators can face not just professional consequences, but personal ones too. Ms. Eisenberger has been keeping her account secret from her father, but knows he will find out now that she has gone public. I don't want to be shamed or disowned, she said. Others say the experience has been empowering. Melanie Hall, a single mother of 3, earns $13.30 an hour as a paramedic in Northern Ohio, barely enough to cover her bills. She started an OnlyFans account in December. I'm a mom of 3. I never thought anyone would pay to see me naked, said Miss Hall, 27. It's been a confidence boost. She has made about $700 so far, not enough to change her life, but enough to make the holidays special. This is the first year I didn't have to choose between the electric bill, Christmas presents for my kids, she said. This is the first year I've been able to do it all by myself. Okay. Oh, that was a long article, but they said dozens, so that means, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 12 women will actually make a living off of OnlyFans. And that's just in 2020, okay, when they started to saturate the market, which is something that I said, basically back a year ago. If you go back to my original OnlyFans video I did way back then, I said 2020, a lot of these women are going to look for this as an out, as a way to make extra money or as a way to stretch their unemployment. And that was going to be their introduction into being diesels. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. So what happens to the millions of people when OnlyFans dump, the explicit section of their business? What happens to these people? And then when they toss these people over the side for, the biggest money makers, which are the celebrities, who's going to pay for a part-time paramedic in Northern Ohio to see them in their uniform? Well, not many. So, this is, it's sad. I would say it's funny. And if it wasn't so bad, I would say it was funny. But it's sad that This is has been a lifeline for some women, and it's being snatched away. I mean, women out of desperation. And we're just talking about the women that can do this, that can't, are pretty enough or young enough to actually do this on OnlyFans. What about the women that are like post-wall, in their 30s and post-wall? They can't do this, that aren't 22 or 23, that are fives instead of the 6s, 7s, and 8s that may be on here. How much money do they make? If you look, there's one woman that was making, $64,000 a year, which is a decent income, and the rest of them were making less than minimum wage. $400, $500, $600. Like Eisenberger, she's Jewish, she's white, and she made $250 for being on OnlyFans, which is probably why she put her name out there, because she's frustrated. She got into this, she put her body out there, and she only came back with a couple $100. And these are the washouts, and you got millions of them. Where do they go? What do they do? What happens when the unemployment runs out? What happens when the moratorium ends, which it really already has, because they've already started putting people out, because you have 3 federal judges that said that the CDC moratorium was unconstitutional. So any landlord worth their salt can go to court, can use this as a precedent, and can kick people out. Even in California, 3 federal judges, the precedent has already been set. Now, California, like Los Angeles, has agreed to start paying landlords, which is something that should have been done last year. It's something Trump should have done last year. If you know you're going to close them down, you should have made a mechanism to get the rent paid instead of this crisis that we're facing now. Because, I feel for the landlords. I know a few, and I feel for them. They don't want to put their tenants out, but the thing is, they have bills to pay. They have mortgages to pay. And fortunately, the bulk of their tenants are still working, and they're still paying their rent, and still paying their mortgages and stuff like that. So they're not in need, or they're not desperate, but still, this could have been handled. I don't like sloppiness, and I'm not into going in on women just to go in on women. I would love to see women shape up, and this crisis is starting to make them shape up. But I have no wish to see black women in the street. It's not a good sign. To see people in the street, man, that makes your city dangerous. It causes a whole lot of problems in your city that don't need to happen. Okay, this is a rich country. It needs to house people. You can dump trillions of dollars into the banks, trillions of dollars into Wall Street. In fact, Jack Rasmussen said that the Fed dumped $4 trillion into the banks that didn't need the money. They dumped trillions of dollars into the stock market instead of letting it take a moderate decline. So they can take the $50-60 billion to house people. That's just a fraction of the trillions that they dumped into the market. But that's the priority of the United States, which is something I don't agree with. I'm not socialist or Marxist or anything like that. I'm a pragmatist. Okay, it's a health and social problem, and this stuff you will get blowback politically and socially if you don't handle this. You're going to use the credit card. There's a reason you use the credit card. Use the credit card to solidify and protect the people that make up this United States, because those corporations and those industries don't sit on their own. Okay, they're at the top of the pyramid. You got to take care of the bottom of the pyramid. You got to take care of the base too. I think women getting on OnlyFans are probably silly, yeah, but things are also desperate. And at any time, a big corporation like OnlyFans that gave them access can take it away. It's exactly what you're seeing. That's on YouTube. Okay, we'll ridicule them, but at any time, YouTube could pull the same trick that OnlyFans did. And all the little creators, of which I'm one, could be pushed out, because we don't make the millions of dollars. We don't have millions of subscribers. Say if a lot of your entertainers just wanted to come in and take over YouTube, guess what will happen? A lot of little guys will get pushed down. We get pushed out. So being a content creator, I understand the digital online world and trying to make a living or trying to make extra money on a digital platform. I understand it. I don't even have, I don't even do what they do. I accept donations. I accept money. The thing is, and I'm grateful for it, but I am in no way dependent on YouTube to eat. Okay. Because I know how fragile it actually is. So you take women that don't have any online talent, except for taking off their clothes and coming back with $250 because the market is saturated. And then if you can't do that, where do you go? You become a village wife. You become You take a regular girl, a regular chick, working class 87 chick, and turn her into a diesel. And this is the process. Okay, strip clubs, OnlyFans. First you start taking your clothes off from as a cam girl or posing for nudes or lingerie, and the next step is the streets. OnlyFans isn't what you think it is. This is the ugly side of OnlyFans, and it's just going to get worse because the people at the top, the celebrities, they aren't making the money that they used to make because the market is saturated. They're going to start pushing down other folks. Look at Kwame Brown. Look at other people that are trying to get into the digital space. They're actually taking up room. Competition is going to get stiff. It's going to get firm, and it's going to get saturated. Even YouTube is starting to get saturated. Even in the black manosphere, it was hard. It was hard to find content creators in the black manosphere 5 years ago when I came in. There was hardly any. Now you basically can throw a rock, blindfolded, and hit a black manosphere content creator. We even have a white girl that's in the manosphere. Okay, doing content. We have a white girl doing manosphere content. Okay. And I heard her say it out of her mouth. Yeah, just a couple of days ago. This white chick I follow called Pearly, and like I said, she is the whitest girl on earth. That's her claim. The whitest girl on earth commenting on manosphere content. That shows you that we're at the point of saturation, but also shows you how desperate people are. Now, hopefully, when the economy opens back up, which I'm going to do another video in a little while about black businesses opening back up after, post COVID, and how there will be opportunities to actually open up businesses because so many got wiped out. And I'll be doing a commentary on that later on about where things may go and what people are doing and what people can do. Because, out of every, like Littlefinger says, chaos is a ladder. Okay, when some things get wiped out, some trees get wiped out, other things have to grow. Other trees get a chance to grow. So we'll see where that goes. It's not going to be the same. It's going to be different. There's going to be opportunities, and there's going to be other things out there. But it's gotten a little long. This is BGS out, and as they say, hey, be careful out there, okay? Be careful of predatory women, especially if they get kicked off of OnlyFans. Okay, if they're for the streets, they're for the streets. You got to be able to recognize even the good girls that were good, maybe for the streets. This is BGS out, and you guys be safe.